What is up, guys? It's your boy back with another one here at work. Obviously, you can see the cricket logo behind me. Again, I'm not doing that on purpose. I just realized this is like the second, third time that I've actually had the cricket logo behind me. Like, it's just a coincidence. I don't know. But, anyways, I'm sitting here and I'm getting ready for the day. I put the phones out, I put the money in the drawer, open the drawer itself in the system. I've done all those things already, right? Make sure the debit card is connected to the iPad. And I was sitting here doing my thing, and for the third time, fourth time today, I get another spam call. And you're probably thinking like, what time is it that you got three or four spam calls? And to tell you the truth, it's like 40 seconds till 9:30, and I've already gotten like four spam calls. And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of went off on the person now. That they answer or I answer, and like, this is so and so. I'm calling from Medicaid benefits, and I'm like, dude, can y'all please stop calling me? I don't have Medicaid. I'm not old enough for all those things. I'm not broke enough either. Like, apparently, I'm not broke enough to have Medicaid or Medicare or anything like that. But I'm not rich enough to have the good insurance either. Like, I'm in between, bro. Like, can y'all just please stop calling me? Like, I was kind of irate about it. I was like, stop calling, stop calling. Like, lose this number. Please stop calling. I've told you over and over and over. And I was just like, man, why do they keep calling me? Why does this keep happening? Like, what is going on every day? Like, why? And it reminded me of yesterday. Me and my employee were talking, and she had saw my Bible and this and that. And she was like, "Oh, you're a believer in God and all that." Yeah, believer in God. And she goes, "Oh man, that that's cool. Whatever. Kind of gave me like, "Oh, you're a Christian." Yeah. And I don't ever hide it. I tell everybody, but she's just kind of like, "Oh, like, man." We were like, after that we were talking and this and that, and she was all like, "Man, my shoulder hurts and blah blah blah." I was like, "Oh, that sucks. Like, weren't you in a car wreck a few weeks ago?" She's like, "Yeah." It's like, "Yeah, but I don't know if that's it." And like, maybe you slept wrong. She's like, "I don't know." Like, my body, like, my shoulder wasn't this bad when I got thrown out the car in my other car wreck I was in. I was like, wow, like, just remind me never to get into a car with you. And she's like, ha ha, very funny. Like, I'm serious, girl. Like, you in car wrecks, like, dang. Like, she was just like, we were joking about it, but then she was like, man, I just realized, I'm like, what? She's like, I'm always getting into something like that. I'm always getting into car wrecks. I'm always like getting my heart broken. I'm always going through something, and I'm like, oh wow. I was like, that sucks. Like, I don't know what to tell you there. And she's like, yeah, it's crazy though. Like, everyone always tells me it's part of God's plan. Like, He's trying to test you. He's trying to make you stronger, and this, and that. And I'm like, okay. She's like, I'm just like, why is this happening? Why is this happening? Why does it keep happening? Like, why? Like, I'm like, whoa, okay. I think we've touched a touchy subject here. She goes, yeah, I'm not mad at God or nothing like that. I'm just like, why? How is this part of His plan? And I just look at her like, you know what? Like, people ask that question all the time. Like, why is this happening? Why is that happening? You know, and people respond with, it's part of God's plan. And people are quick to ask, what's His plan? I'm like, I don't know the plan for you. I don't know that plan. I can't answer for God. It's like, everything that does happen to us is for a reason. Like, things happen in certain situations for a reason. You know, I'm going to say this, and it's going to sound weird, but obviously, like I told y'all guys, I've been divorced and all that, and my divorce was caused by me going down a path I shouldn't have been going down, that led me to losing my marriage, and not being able to be there full time with my kids. And I was going downhill bad, and then one day it clicked that I need to go in a different path, and I chose to go down the path that involved, serving God. And since then, obviously my life has changed. I'm doing a lot better, mentally, physically, not completely physically. Obviously, I need to do something about that, but we'll go down that road another day. But, you know, like I made the decision to go down the path that I needed to go down with Christ. And since then, obviously things have gotten better, doing better with co-parenting, my job, having a life that, I'm happy to be in right now. And, I think, like, honestly, to God's honest truth, I honestly think that me getting divorced, it wasn't really in God's plan, but the road that I was going down, He had to make it part of His plan. And for me to get to where I'm at today, that had to happen. And in the beginning, I was like my coworker, or my employee, whatever. I was asking myself, why am I going through a divorce? Why can't I be there with my kids? Why can't I do this? Like, why are you doing this? And ultimately, He put me through that. He had to make me go through that, because the path I was going down was going to ultimately lead to something far worse than what happened with my marriage and not being able to be there full time with my kids. And, and that's something I had to kind of, tell my employee, like, God puts you down, a certain path that you need to go down, because ultimately you're going to come out of it a better person and a stronger person. He's not doing it because He wants to do it. Like, you're living a life that you're living, and along the way He has to let you go through these certain things to let you realize the life you're living is ultimately going to lead to something far worse than what's happening now. And that was like the best possible answer I could give. And that's the best answer I can give anybody. Like, you go through these things not because God wants you to go through these things, but it's because He knows you need to go down these things, like go down this path and have to face these kind of obstacles, because you're not living, the way He wants you to live. So in order to get you to where you need to be, He knows you need to go through this to get to there. And, along the way, you are going to question it. Like, don't get me wrong, people are going to question that big time. And it's like, wow. And, it's just like, it just has to happen. If you're a parent and you have children you're raising, obviously, I mean, that's part of being a parent. You have children you're raising. There are certain things that you have to let your kids learn the lessons to in life to make them better individuals. And people don't ever want to hear this, right? People don't want to hear this part. God is like our, He's our spiritual father. He's our creator, right? And He's ultimately like our parent. He's our father. For us to learn our lessons, He has to let us go down this path and face all these things in order to realize, like, hey, I'm not doing right. I need to get on this path to do better in life. And that's what a father does, a parent does. Parents, if they want their kids to, learn from their mistakes, they let them go down certain paths and let them fall. My father and my mother told me, like, you're too young to get married and this and that. And obviously my ex-in-laws said the same thing. But me and my ex-wife, obviously, we got married and everything. We were very young, and we ultimately learned along the way that we were too young, obviously. Like, they probably didn't intend for us to get divorced. They didn't intend for us to not be together for the rest of our lives. They just ultimately told us, like, you're too young, wait a little bit. And we both realized along the way, man, we were young. We should have waited a little longer. But I don't regret my marriage because ultimately I got two beautiful kids out of it. That sounds a little selfish, but it's true. Like if I was still with my wife, I would obviously have a different answer to that right there. You know, the getting married young. Like, yeah, I got married young, but we learned along the way of why people told us that, and ultimately we came out of it stronger together. Didn't work out that way. Obviously, I'm at the point where I'm like, okay, well, you know, I got married young, and if people were to ask me, is it okay to get married young? Like, I would probably tell them, you can do it, but just know you are going to be faced with a lot of challenges. Like a lot of challenges. Like the best thing a young couple can do is, you know, figure out what they really want. You know, do the college thing, do the live your life a little thing, you know, travel, do something, right? As individuals. And if you still want to get married after, you know, living, you know, on the road or traveling and doing things that you want to do, if your answer is still that you want to get married, then do it. Or get married and do that together. Like, that is completely up to you. And that's something I learned when I was getting like young, getting married and all that, like years later, right? And then obviously people ask me like, oh, I'm living my best life, I'm partying and this and that. Like, it's okay to live your best life and like whatever you want to do. Like, I'm not gonna say like you don't need to do that. That's living wrong. Like, you're a grown person, right? Live your life, but also think about, is that how you want to live your life the rest of your life? Do you want to keep the party going? Do you want to live that like that forever? And you know, obviously they'll think about it and like, no, I don't. Or yeah, I do, and I want to have fun all the time. Like, well, there's other ways to have fun than just drinking and partying, right? There's doing like something you love to do. You know, do something you love to do. But I can't just sit there and say, this is how you got to do it. No, they have to learn, right? Like, people have to learn from their mistakes. And they have to go through certain things to get where they need to be at in life. And honestly, like I said, that's how I see a lot of the things that have happened to me in the past now. Like, I had to go through all these things to get where I'm at now. And just like I told my employee, like, you have to go through all this. Like, you're going through all this because there's a plan at the end of that road that God has for you. I don't know what that is. I can't tell you what that is because I'm not God. That is not my area of expertise. It's like employees tell me I work all the time. That's above my pay grade. God's plan is way above my pay grade. Like, we're like the men on the bottom of the totem pole. Like, God's all the way up here. He's the CEO, the president, the CEO, the owner. He's all those things, right? And we're the lower tier. I'm like, obviously I'm the supervisor, and like my employees are the employees. Like, that's how it is, right? You know, but that's really all I wanted to come on here and just kind of talk about. Like, I had a whole other video planned for this, and then when I got here, I just came out with this video, and hopefully this message helps somebody. Hopefully this helps one of you. I don't know what aspect, but hopefully it's something that you needed to hear. Hopefully it helps. But I will see you on the next one. I do have something big planned for video 7 concerning the package I talked about in video 5. So that gets here today, and of course I'll do an unboxing and everything and show you what we got. And I will give you a hint. It does have to do with the channel. That's all I can say. But hopefully you all enjoyed. Hopefully you all keep enjoying these videos. Keep watching, and please give this video a like and hit that subscribe button. It all helps out. And until next time, guys, y'all stay safe. God bless, and peace.